What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix deadline stream. Whew. Let's see how this goes. Who have we got in the chat already? We've got Jack, we've got Nixie, we've got Mr. Bass, we've got Henry. We got Halia, we got Mr. Iceman. Mr. Iceman just coming right off the top. Morning, y'all. How is the headache going? It's not great. It's not great. I got this ice pack it literally looks like the poop emoji. I've been holding this on my head for about 2 hours. So we will see how it goes. I've got liquids, I've got food, I've got coffee. We're going to struggle through this together as we make one of the most important decisions of the F1 fantasy season. So that will be a lot of fun, Mr. Iceman, to see how this goes. Oh boy. But for the next 2 hours, I am looking forward to hanging out with y'all. Don't forget to like the stream nice and early so we can get as many people in here as possible, but I am going to start answering questions as we get right off the bat. Jack says, my team is Russell, Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Bottas, Ferrari, Haas, 3 free transfers, 0.1 million in the bank. Would you Limitless? Yeah, I think I would Limitless, Jack. Nixie says, good morning. Good morning, Nixie. Mr. Best says, hello, chat. What is up, Mr. Best? T1 is Hamilton, Russell, Ocon, Behrman, Lindblad, Ferrari, Haas. Looks pretty hunky-dory to me. I was thinking of swapping Lindblad for someone else and swap Hamilton for one of the McLaren drivers as a potential differential will allow me to roll a transfer in for Miami as well. I like Lindblad to Lawson, Mr. Best, but as for the McLaren guys, I'm a little bit curious. Obviously, we've had the new Sims out, or not the new Sims, but the FP2 Sims out. And Hamilton only needs 10 points for a max price rise. And Norris and Piastri are going to fall. And I'm just wondering, is the difference between, Hamilton right now is simulated to outscore Norris, and I think that gap will probably widen in the FP3 sims. I don't know if 0.6 million at this point in the season is worth 4 points, so I might just do the Lindblad to Lawson stop, to be honest. Henry's here. What is up, Henry? How's this for differential? Antonelli, Behrman, Lawson, Lindblad, and Colapinto with Ferrari, McLaren, and I can still carry one extra transfer to Miami. If you had asked me this 2 hours ago, Henry, I would have been all aboard, but seeing Lando's car in the garage again makes me very, very nervous. Mr. Best, I am planning a 2A constructor team for T3, but we'll have to go for Leclerc, Bottas, Perez, Behrman, Lindblad with Ferrari, Mercedes using all 3 transfers. I don't hate it. I'm a little jealous. Oh, that's my T3 team over here. Kind of similar mold, Mr. Best. I've got Antonelli, Bottas, Colapinto, Lawson, and Lindblad. So I've had a little bit more luck. Well, I guess you just have Perez instead of Lindblad, or instead of Lawson, and you have Behrman instead of Colapinto. Oh, that's me. Mr. Best is here. Morning, you might go with Limitless on this T2 with 2 Merc, 2 McLaren, Leclerc with Mercedes, McLaren. Currently, T2 is Russell, Antonelli, Behrman, Colapinto, Lindblad with Ferrari, Red Bull. I'm not entirely sold on McLaren, to be honest. I was yesterday, but after seeing FP2 results, which I should have had up, that would have made sense as a content creator to have that up. There we go. Where are we at? If we go to, come on, FP3 results, it just feels like the Ferraris are still a little bit more dialed in than McLaren. And if I was going to play my Limitless chip, I would prefer a little bit of safety. If McLaren had had a clean FP3, I would feel a lot better. I feel really good about Oscar as my 5th driver, but I'm not sure about Lando, or the constructor. Nixie, what is up, Nixie? Hey, Ewan, would you do Russell to Perez and Haas to Mercedes or use Limitless? All my assets are predicted to rise in price. That feels like a little bit of a drastic change, Nixie. If you can get there in 2 moves, I would probably just save it for Miami when you have back-to-back sprints anyway and use Limitless this week. Is Liam safe with all the car trouble we saw with Lindblad? Maybe Colapinto is the smarter choice as that Alpine looks more like a more reliable car, asks Alia. It's not a bad shout, actually, Alia. However, when it comes to B tier assets, I don't love chopping and changing for like minimal points. However, when you see Lawson has a -15 for a max price rise and -21 for just a basic price rise, I would rather go Lawson just because there can be a DNF with any car at any time. And when you get drivers like Lindblad or Lawson and Behrman here with like they need a disqualification to fall in price, that it's just too easy to take that money and run. Let's see here. Will is in the chat. Rebecca's in the chat. Alligator's in the chat. Moonvale says, thinking I go Limitless with the same team as your T2 team decisions. Hope the headache gets better. Me too. But I'm also thinking that. Let me switch back over to my teams here real quick. Good morning, everyone, says MDOT. Good morning, MDOT. Hope you're doing well. Captain Dolphin says, hey, I'm planning to swap Bortoletto and Lindblad for Perez and Lawson, then do 2x on Kimi. Yes. Yeah, that works. Morning G, says Stefan. Morning, Stefan. Andreas, you were in there, but it looks like the message was redacted or retracted. Would you rather keep Lindblad or Colapinto when bringing in Lawson? So I haven't really been loving what I've been seeing from Franco Colapinto so far this weekend, or Alpine in general, but the Sims. Let's go to this. Well, I mean, it's the F1 data, but I'm like, you see here, like Alpine, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6th fastest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th fastest in qualifying sims, but 4th fastest in race sims. So that is something to consider. That'd be more for Pierre Gasly, but I think I'd rather. It's kind of a toss-up between Lindblad and Colapinto, so maybe I would just save the extra money and transfer out Lindblad. Who is your Limitless team? It would probably just be triple Mercedes, triple Ferrari, and Oscar Piastri. Fake 293. McLaren seemed to have lost the pace, and Lando's car had issues in both FP2 and FP3. So I was thinking for Limitless, double or triple McLaren off the table. Yeah, I agree. Fake 293. Worth changing Hamilton out. Same with Red Bull or Racing Bulls struggling to afford Haas. Audi needs 19 points, but no, I think you're fine. Like, look at like the budget builder over here. It's kind of a sideways move to. I think Haas will outscore VCarb, although I was kind of interested to see. Yeah, so they like Haas's qualifying sims, but then Ocon and Behrman were down here in 14th and 15th, which is a little concerning, but they usually have pretty good positions gained and overtakes, especially with that Ferrari power unit in the back of their car. I'm pretty sure my energy will pick up here, guys, so bear with me here for a little bit. Got the Limitless activated on T2 and 75% likely to activate on T1. Seems like Racing Bulls is fine to keep, but maybe not Lindblad. Colapinto's qualifying being poor makes him a good asset. True, especially if that Alpine is looking as fast in race pace as they are suggesting. I think it's worth getting Audi, even with a small price drop. They seem to be 4th, 5th best. I would probably hold off on that troll. I heard chocolate helps. I did have some chocolate. but it was not the best recipe for my stomach that early in the morning, Mr. Iceman. But thank you for the note. Andrea says Kimi, Russell, Behrman, Lindblad, Perez, Audi, and Ferrari. I haven't changed anything yet. Not sure what to change. Do you have enough money to go from Lindblad to Lawson and then Audi up to Racing Bulls? Like, do you have enough budget there, Andreas? Let me know. McLaren fan, but afraid to play them in fantasy. I would be too. I am also afraid of them. I'm also a McLaren fan, despite wearing a Mercedes sweater today. It was just a little bit comfier. Also just clean. The McLaren hoodie was not clean. Impulsive 888 says, "Hey, just woke up. Anything interesting from FP3? Probably off of the triple McLaren differential hype train." Impulsive 888. Lando back in the garage again. Who would have guessed? I know. That's my only worry. Actually, I don't really have much confidence in McLaren as a whole. I think I trust Oscar. Even like, I mean, even with Max coming in eighth, like I would take the risk on Oscar finishing in the top 5 rather than Max in 6th or 7th, just depending on what we see here. Oh, what else? What else? Ferrari, Mercedes look like the 2 fastest teams, but Piastri is nice. Red Bull battling Audi. Shake my head. Yeah, was thinking Limitless until FP3, and I'm not sure about Ferrari or McLaren. Think I'd go with Ferrari there, Jason. Would you swap Racing Bulls for Haas? Probably not. Unless you have to use a transfer or something like that. If it's like a luxury transfer, it's fine. Is Behrman a must buy, or can I survive another week without him? In terms of budget gaining, probably not, Chewy. Are you going limitless on your T2? I am feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, I think all those assets are rising. Tino Wizard says good morning. STC says good morning. Sam Norris says howdy. What is up, everyone? Thank you for coming here. How do I prioritize price rise over points at the moment? Is it too early to swap to 2 Tier A constructors over 2 Tier A drivers? When's a good time / high enough budget to go 2 teams? I think with Miami and Canada coming up in back-to-back races and Monaco, it will be a good time to switch to 2A constructors there, because those are like kind of 3 races where we can bank on the big constructors scoring the most points, especially in the sprints in Miami and Canada. So that would be my preference. So if you can have 3 free transfers for Miami in order to get to the Mercedes Ferrari build, that would be nice. AVS says, morning, Ewan. Sorry about the headache. Team 1 is George, Kimi, Colapinto, Lindblad, Lawson, Ferrari Racing Build. Should I make swaps or play Limitless? That's a good enough team for Limitless. You've got Lawson, you got Lindblad, you got Colapinto. If you avoid DNFs, you will be hunky-dory AVS. So yeah, I think Limitless is a good play. Alia says, thank you, Ewan. Get well soon. First-time player and love your channel. Oh, thank you, Alia. Really appreciate that. Tuje says, I'm thinking Russell, Antonelli, Lindblad, Colapinto, Lawson, Ferrari, Audi. What do you guys think? Audi for points seem to be pretty good, but I don't know about budget. But 19 points, I think that's doable. I think that's doable for them. My T3 is struggling. I'm thinking of using wildcard or going Ant, Russell, Lawson, Ocon, Behrman, and Haas V-Carb. Whoa. I don't know if that's a good way to go about it, friend. Especially without a Tier A constructor. Don't love that. Henry says T2, Hamilton, Antonelli, Behrman, Ocon, and Lawson with Ferrari Haas. I have 3 transfers and don't know how to upgrade it. 1.2 million in the bank. Ham, Ant, Behrman, Ocon, Lawson with Ferrari. I have 3 transfers and don't know how to upgrade it. You don't really have anything to upgrade there, Henry. It's all looking pretty nice. I think you can just keep it as is. All aboard the LL train? I think so on my T2 squad. Adam from Fan Out Fantasy is here. Morning, Ewan. Keep up the great work, mate. Thank you, Adam. Hopefully you have a great stream. Those guys should be going live in about 45 minutes. Whew. If it just looks like I end up having a poop emoji on my head, it's just cooling down my brain as it overthinks this limitless decision. Okay, back to who would you pick for limitless? It would be triple Mercedes, triple Ferrari, and Oscar Piastri. Kevin, Russell, Kimi, Behrman, Colapinto, Lindblad, Ferrari, Racing Bulls, transfer in Lawson and roll a transfer to have flexibility in Miami, or just limitless? But transfer Lawson and roll a transfer to have flexibility, or just limitless? I think limitless is a good play, Kevin, but I also like that other one. But yeah, I would maybe go limitless. I think you're in a fine spot there. Haas or VCarb, who look good? I think I'm still gonna lean towards Haas as a um um just a reliability. Rebecca says, did you decide which team you might limitless on? I think I might limitless my T3 squad. I think I'm going to go with the T2 squad for sure, Rebecca. I don't know about the T1 squad yet. We have a new member, folks. We've got Jason Nealand joining the Pole Sitters Club. Thank you, Jason. That is much appreciated. You're a super duper star. Welcome to the Pole Sitter Club. Make sure to get in the Discord. That will, yeah. So if you guys want, you can support the channel that little bit extra. $5 a month. You get early access to videos, Discord access, buy me some Tylenol. Yeah, there we go. As I just have this giant rag of ice on my head. All right, let's go. Here we go. Thank you, Jason. Much appreciated, sir. All right, Cameron says Hamilton, Lawson, Colapinto, Perez, Lindblad, Mercedes, Ferrari with 104.8 million. What changes would you recommend? You're in a little bit of a tough spot there, Cameron. If you're just going to stick with the 2A build, then I probably wouldn't do anything, just depending on how much money you have in the bank. But Lawson, Colapinto, Perez, Lindblad, those are all set to rise. Mercedes, Ferrari should score you a boatload of points. So unless you're trying to switch to a 2A driver build, I think you're fine there. Is VCarb to Audi worth it if it allows Bortoleto to Behrman? Yes, I think it is actually, Chewy. I kind of like that. Great call by you. Alex, I have 106.2 with Russell, Antonelli, Lindblad, Colapinto, Behrman. Limitless that-ish, Alex. Hi, Ewan. T3, Kimi, Leclerc, Ollie, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Ferrari, Haas. I was thinking to sell Haas to Racing Bulls and sell Leclerc and Bortoleto to get Russell and Nico. Should I wait for Miami and replace Bortoleto with Ocon for now? I was thinking to sell Haas to Racing Bulls and sell Leclerc. I would wait for Miami because we have such a long break coming up here, Vibe Pulse, that you will want to remain flexible here. The poop emoji towel did it for me. Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Andrea says, no, I don't. I was thinking remove Russell and get Kimi, Leclerc, Behrman, Perez, Lawson, Ferrari, and Haas, but it's 3 changes. Do you have 3 transfers, Andreas? I don't mind a -10 hit, but just don't make a habit out of it. ZMax says T2, Kimi, Hamilton, Behrman, Lawson, Ocon, Ferrari, Haas. Prefer hold 1 transfer for Miami or would swap out Lindblad for Lawson and Hamilton for Leclerc. Thoughts on these plays? Prefer hold 1 or I would prefer to roll as well. So I think you're in an A-OK spot. Yeah, I think you're fine. Lawson is a better budget riser. So yeah, I would hold ZMax. What's your move this week? That is a great question, FPO YOLO. So I think right now I'm going with Limitless on my T2 squad. I'm just kind of waiting out the Sims here. I'm kind of 50-50 on limitlessing this squad here. I think Leclerc looks better than Hamilton this weekend, so I could just do 2 free transfers here and bring in Lawson for the budget rising, and then I'd have 26.3 million. Part of me is tempted to go Piastri, but the 0.6 swing would just mean that Leclerc here. So I would just go, well, that's not gonna work. Leclerc and then Lawson. And then I still have 3 free transfers for Miami with the squad, hopefully a max amount of budget rising. And then I'd have 3 free transfers for Miami here with Leclerc, Antonelli, Ocon, Behrman, Lawson. And then we could go Leclerc and Haas out for Mercedes and a Nico Hulkenberg, who is hopefully going to be 5 million. Bingo bango, Bob's your uncle, Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Behrman, Lawson, Mercedes, Ferrari for 2 sprints, back-to-back races. That would be the ideal scenario. So that is, that's where we're at. Yo, says Andrew. Yo, Andrew, what is up? Helifco, great in June. What are your thoughts on Ferrari / Haas, Antonelli, Leclerc, Lawson, Lindblad, and Behrman? Yeah, love that lineup. Thinking very similarly. So yeah, great job by you. I think this is actually just melting and dripping off of me now. So we'll just keep that to the side for a little bit there. Hopefully that cools my head down. When will post FP3 Sims be out? Probably in like the next 45 minutes. Despair. Spider. Hamilton, Russell, Behrman, Colapinto, Hamilton, Russell, Behrman, Colapinto, Lindblad, Ferrari, V-Carb. Swap Russell for Antonelli, Colapinto for Lindblad, or Ocon and call it good. I'd roll a transfer too. I guess that leaves you with a little bit extra money in the bank, huh? So that is a tough question. Because, I mean, Russell feels safe. Antonelli did look good. He is now being George Russell in FP. He beat him in FP2 and FP3, right? By a quarter of a second here. I think I prefer Antonelli. So Russell to Antonelli and Colapinto for Lawson. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's really good, Spider. I like those moves. What are your condition scenarios in your team that makes Limitless good? So right now, all 7 of these assets here, Russell, Antonelli, Behrman, Colapinto, Lindblad, Ferrari, and Racing Bulls, are all set to rise. Not easily, but easily enough. So Behrman is going to rise. Colapinto is set to rise with 2 points. Lindblad needs -2 points for a plus 2 rise there. Russell, Antonelli feels strong. Ferrari feels strong. Racing Bulls feel strong. This team is a little bit more risky for it to not rise. With Colapinto and Lindblad, it makes me feel a little bit worse about it. But this team also only has 2 free transfers, which means that I'm going to come out of, like, the only move I'd make right now in this T2 squad is Lindblad to Lawson, and I'd roll into Miami. But if things go disastrously wrong, like, you do have the wild card in your back pocket that you could play in Miami, when a lot of teams will be bringing updates as well to the car after a month-long break. So you could just flip it there. Whereas on my T1 squad, that has 3 free transfers. I feel like that's a little bit more flexible. I can go either which way. I feel like the T1 squad has a better chance of rising compared to the T2 squad. And because it has 3 free transfers, I'd like to keep remaining flexible. In Miami, maybe I can set myself up for the 2A. Then I can play the Limitless in Canada or Monaco, whichever one I want, really. So that's not a bad shout there. So that's why I prefer the T2 squad as the Limitless over the T1 squad just right now, with an hour and a half to go in F1 Fantasy. Sean is in the chat. What is up, Sean? I have Russell, Leclerc, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Behrman, Ferrari, V, Carvers, Antonelli, a must. Or should I go Bort to Colapinto and Lindblad to Lawson? I don't think Antonelli is a must. And I think you have bigger fish to fry with Gabby Bortoletto. So yeah, Bortoletto, Colapinto, and Lindblad to Lawson is a okay move. Gasco Valentin says morning. I'm thinking of going with Russell, Antonelli, Behrman, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Haas, and Mercedes. What do you think? And who's the best 3x chip, Russell or Antonelli? I wouldn't play the 3x chip, Gasco, but if you're talking about 2x chip, then I think I'm willing to go with Antonelli just based on what I've seen. Who do I put my 2x on, Leclerc or Kimi? I'd go Kimi. 2x on Kimi instead of George? I think so. Actually, let's just get a poll in. Let's get a poll going. Let's see what the people want. Who do you prefer for 2x boost? Russell Antonelli. Here we go. Alrighty. Oh, okay. Russell, Antonelli, Behrman, Bottas, Colapinto, Ferrari, V, Carb is okay for Limitless. Is that Bottas or Bortoletto? If it's Bottas, I mean, either or. I don't love it, but 6 of the 7 assets rising is a-okay, I think. Trick says, I've got Antonelli, Leclerc, Colapinto, Behrman, Lawson with Ferrari and Haas. Is it solid, or do you recommend any changes, perhaps Limitless? Yeah, that's a good Limitless squad, Tricks. Just joined in. Will you be using Limitless on your T2 team? Who's your 5th driver? Thanks, Ewan. I think it's going to, yes, Limitless on my T2 squad, and it will probably be Oscar Piastri. Your T2 is my T1, and Limitless seems right, but wrong at the same time. Waiting for Monaco, I think, is better, so I can roll a transfer and have 3 for Miami. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of options in the community right now. I think Japan is one. I'm kind of thinking about Canada as well. And then Monaco is also a good shout. Not that sure anymore if I should put my 2x on Russ or Antonelli. Antonelli looking strong this week. Get in the poll and see what people are thinking. Right off the bat, 66 votes 1 minute ago. Antonelli, 59%. I think Kimi is going to be on a roll, so probably getting more expensive, getting him before he passes 24 million. Not a bad shout at all. Alex says, I have 106.2 million with Russell, Antonelli, Lindblad, Colpit. Do I just add Lawson for Lindblad, then have 3 transfers next week, or do I go 2A constructors and have Hulk? I would wait. I would hold off for next week, so just go Lindblad to Lawson. Haas or Racing Bulls this weekend? Is a -10 worth it to get Haas in over Racing Bulls? Probably not, so I would just stick with whichever one you have. What do you think of Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Antonelli, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Haas? I really like that lineup. Hulkenberg's probably going to cost you 0.6 million this weekend. However, he looks pretty spicy, and you never know. Crazier things have happened. I've kind of been touting Hulkenberg quite a lot. 29 points is pretty out there. He'd have to get like a top 5 and a driver of the day to kind of get there, but you never know. With all the unreliability, Hulkenberg, Audi is fast but fragile. Like, he just needs to finish the race, and he should be a-okay. Who we got here? We've got a super chat. So thank you to a tasty Timbits. Says Ferrari, Haas, Russell, Antonelli, Bortoletto, Lindblad, Bottas. I figured change Lindblad to Lawson, but I need to figure out a way to get Bottas out of my team. You sure do. You sure do there, sir. If you do Russell, let me just make sure. If you do Russell to, I look so ridiculous with this rag on my head, but that's okay. Where are you at? If you do Russell to Leclerc, and then this could be a little bit of surgery here, but if you do Russell to Leclerc, Gabby Bortz to Behrman, and Bottas to Lawson, you should be in with a shout. Let me know if that works. And also, where'd this go? Why can't I? Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, if you guys are in a rush, the super chat is the fastest way to get your question answered. So thank you, Tasty Timbit, for that. You are awesome for supporting the channel. Good idea to sell Lindblad if you have options/budget. Yeah, I think so, especially if you go to Lawson. First year playing, and you have helped me so much. Really enjoying your content. Thank you. You are very welcome, AVS. Thank you for watching the channel and supporting the channel, as we are over 5,500 people now, which is still so crazy to me. I don't remember who was here on the stream last week or 2 weeks ago, but I'm getting some Gatorade and I'm going to drink away from the microphone because I think it bothered them. So I'm going to try and learn. But fun fact about this F1 Fantasy content creator is that during the early days of COVID, me and my buddies would play Dungeons and Dragons online. And I used to drink, I would drinking coffee because I'd be playing at like 4 a.m. in the morning. And I can't remember what, I think my character was like a dragon knight or something, but they named me Glug Glug because my glugs were so loud while we were on microphones together. So I was Glug Glug the Great for a long time there during Dungeons and Dragons during the early COVID days. Adam says, thinking of putting my all three teams into Limitless. All three teams have both Merc drivers and spread of Racing Bulls drivers. Perez, Behrman, Culpin, all have Ferrari, either Haas or Racing Bulls. That's a lot of eggs in a basket, Adam. It makes me a little bit nervous. I'm nervous just playing one Limitless team, so I don't know about playing all three, but let me know how it goes and let me know what you decide. I think I'm definitely going to go with one Limitless squad. Just waiting for these sims to come out to kind of confirm what I've been seeing on track. Andrew Crawford says, should I go Limitless right now? 758 points, but my team is Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto, Perez. Yeah, that's a fine squad. Peachy says, you're a trooper, Ewan. Thank you, Peachy. I feel a little ridiculous, but I do feel a little bit better. Have George, Kimi, Lindblad, Behrman, Colapinto, Ferrari, Haas, where I have 3 transfers available. What do you suggest? Limitless or switch to 2A constructor with Perez and lose the transfer I have? I would not switch to the 2A constructor yet. I think I'd like one more weekend of just like total dominant Mercedes with George and Kimi and just build a little bit of budget in the background with Haas. And but Limitless is also a good play. But I think either you go Limitless or you try to roll a transfer into Miami. I don't think you need to go to the 2A constructor this weekend. Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, Bortoletto, Lindblad, Ferrari, Racing Bulls, 2 free transfers, 0.2 left in the bank. What's your suggestion? The red 468. Can you do? That is not a very nice scenario there, unfortunately for you, the red. It could just be you could do Russell to Antonelli and then Bortoletto to Ocon. That might be an okay shout. Ocon or Colapinto? Probably Ocon for reliability. Thoughts on Hulkenberg and Bortoletto after their FP3 results? I actually really like Nico Hulkenberg this week as just like a points play, but just for budget, it's just a little bit tough. I think if you can hold off 1 week, I think you can get there. I think you can get to Nico Hulkenberg in Miami. I think I was showing people earlier, but right now, if I in my T1 squad, I might just do Lindblad and Hamilton out for Leclerc and Mr. Liam Lawson with 2.9 million in the bank. So this will leave me with 3 free transfers for Miami. And then in Miami, I can bring out Leclerc, Lawson, and Haas for Mercedes. And then it will be Nico Hulkenberg. And I had someone else in here. I don't know what happened. But it was something. Something worked. I just did this earlier, like 30 minutes ago. And it worked. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember who the last driver was. I don't even remember what I did. Maybe it was Ocon out. Oh yeah, was it Ocon to Hulkenberg? And then I kept... this and oh, there we go. Okay, and then it was Ocon to Hulkenberg or something like that, or Behrman to Hulkenberg. It worked. It worked. Do you guys remember? It was working. I don't remember what happened. F1 predict. Let's get into it in 2 minutes here. Is Perez a hold? I need Behrman, so not sure whether to go Lindblad to Colapinto, Ocon to Behrman, or Perez to Hulkenberg, Ocon to Behrman. I would go Lindblad to Colapinto. Ocon to Behrman is such a sideways move, Mr. Iceman, but he is on for a pretty good price rise, so I don't love it, but I think it's good. I think it's all right. Are you switching for Lindblad for Lawson on your T2 squad? I'm probably going to Limitless on my T2 squad, Frank. So I'm just going to hope that Lindblad doesn't fall this week. Good call on no A constructor. I made changes for recognizing my error. Oh, you're welcome. Is using all free transfers really bad? I'm thinking of switching from Russell, Leclerc, Bordello, Colapinto, Lindblad, Ferrari, V-Carb to Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Colapinto, Lawson, Ferrari, Haas. Maybe I should keep V-Carb. Not sure for points. I like rolling a transfer whenever it is available, Coots87. So that's what I would go with. Hi, do you think this will be another Mercedes 1-2 or Ferrari's getting in the middle at the end? I'm not sure about Russell. I'll go with Kimi for my 2X driver. Even if Russell doesn't end up in the front row, which I think Mercedes will go 1-2, I don't think Ferrari has the race pace. They can kind of like fight at the beginning of a race, it looks like, but they can't get into like the second half. They just kind of fade away a little bit. All right, let's do a little quick bit of F1 predict here for a second. Now that we've got all free practices gone here. All right, so predict the podium for the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm going to change this actually. I'm sorry, Max, I am not going to have you on there. I'm going to go Antonelli, Russell. I'm gonna put a cheeky little Oscar in P3 here. Which driver takes pole? Oof. It's not going to be Max Verstappen. I'm going to say it's going to be Kimi, though. I really liked what I've seen from Kimi. Unless George is just... Do you think George is holding some pace back? No, I don't think so. Which driver qualifies highest for the Grand Prix? I'm just going to say Ollie, just because. How many drivers will get into Q3? So McLaren, or how many teams? So McLaren's going to have one. Ferrari's going to have one. Mercedes going to have one. Red Bull, Alpine, Haas, Racing Bulls. Is anyone else? And Audi? Someone's going to get knocked out. You know what? We'll risk it for the biscuit. We'll go 8. We'll say it's going to be really competitive. Take this off my head as it's officially soaking through. Which team will set the fastest pit stop of the race? I'll say Mercedes. Who will set the fastest lap of the race? I'm going to change that to Mr. Kimi Antonelli. Which driver finishes ahead in the Grand Prix? Bortoleto, Sainz, Lawson, Gasly. Really tough, but the Audi does look pretty fast. What was the race pace that they got there? So 5th in qualifying, but they kind of fall down here. Okay, so I'm going to go with... I'm just going to say Liam Lawson. I'm going to put him up there. He's kind of driving the pants off of the car. Safety car, VSC, yes. How many classified finishers? 18. I'll still say McLaren over Red Bull, and we are good to go. So that is F1 Predict. All right, where are we at? Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing that. It really helps me out. It really gets a lot of people in here. Spreads the love for the channel. And yeah, away we go. We're starting to stretch our legs a little bit here into the final hour and 20 minutes of the deadline stream. I'm assuming the Sims will come out here in the next 20 minutes. Currently have Russell, Behrman, Lawson, Hadjar, Gasly with Ferrari, Haas. I have 3 transfers. Is it smart to swap the drivers to Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto, or Lindblad? Yes, I like that. I like that quite a lot, Laura. You should go with that. I like Gasly, but Antonelli and Leclerc should score you more points. Why Ham and not Leclerc? I will be switching to Charles Leclerc, Bork. I just haven't done it yet. T1 is Ferrari, Haas, Russell, Antonelli, Gabriel Bortoleto, Lindblad, and Bottas. I want to change Lindblad to Lawson, but I also need to get Bottas out of my team. Yes, you do, Tasty Timbit. Yes, you do. Oh, wait, is that the question? Okay, I already answered that question, but so thank you for your $5 donation. Golf Nerd 3 says Verstappen, Leclerc, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Bottas, Ferrari, Haas. Thinking of changing Verstappen to Kimi, Lindblad to Lawson, Bottas to Behrman. Should I use Limitless too? If you make those transfers, you can't use Limitless Golf Nerd 3. So I would make those transfers and prioritize that for now, and then just hold off on Limitless. Thoughts on Hulk? I mean, I like him for points, but the budget is just not there, unfortunately, this weekend. So I would hold off until Miami if you can. 200 views and 3 likes. Interesting. I hope that's not true. I hope we're not 41 minutes into the stream and there's only 3 likes, because I know you guys like me a little bit better than that. 106.6 million, 3 transfers, Mercedes, Ferrari, Leclerc, Antonelli, Behrman, Ocon, Lindblad. Would you do Lindblad to Lawson or Limitless? You have Mercedes, Ferrari, Leclerc, and Antonelli? I feel like that's impossible, like but yeah. I would probably do Limitless if that is your squad. Why would you not take -10 to swap Ferrari for Mercedes? You would earn the points back, surely. Why not take another -10 to swap in for Lawson? To almost guarantee maximum budget gains, says Super Frat Daddy. Why not take another? Why would you not take a swap Ferrari for Mercedes in my T1 squad? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not entirely sure what you are saying there, but yeah, I'm not sure what reference or what team you are referencing there, Super Frat Daddy, but let me know, because I really don't want to run Valtteri Bottas in my squad. That would be the simple answer. Avi, help, what do I do? Russell, Kimi, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Lawson, Audi, and Ferrari. I could either Limitless, do Russell to Leclerc and Audi to Haas, or Russell to Leclerc and Gabby to Ollie, 0.4 in the bank. I prefer Russell to Leclerc and Gabby to Ollie, Avi. Russell plus Antonelli versus Leclerc plus 2A Constructor versus Limitless. Thoughts? Limitless if everything else is rising. Priya. Cameron says, thoughts on swapping Hamilton, Perez for Antonelli and Hulk, considering taking the pretty much guaranteed -6 with Hulk so I can get more overall points with Kimi and him. Not a bad shout, but you never know with Cadillac. If they can just trundle around at the back and pick up like 6 points from positions gained or something like that, that could work out, and that might be... And Audi is just fast but fragile. But I guess if you're bringing in Hulk, then everything else is just upside. You just have to hope that they finish the race, and then you have a 5 million asset for Miami, which is not bad. I don't love it, but if I was a Boulder F1 fantasy manager, I would probably do that as well, Cameron, so I fully support it. M. Dot says, I'm looking at Russell, 2X, Leclerc, Behrman, Ocon, Lawson, Ferrari, and Racing Bulls, or Limitless, active with Piastri, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Antonelli, Mercedes, Ferrari. 2X probably on Russ. He lost 0.3 seconds in Sector 2. Seems stronger at starts 2. Yeah, I think I'd Limitless that squad, M. Dot. I think that's a good move. Carell asks, a little super chat here, so thank you to Carell. Shout out to you. Gonna give that a like there. What's the best Limitless team to play? It would be triple Mercedes, triple Ferrari, and Oscar Piastri. Carell. Hopefully that helps. Does going limitless give us 3 transfers next race? Asked Jason. No, it does not. You will have 2 free transfers next race, Jason. Any other pole sitters that I am falling drastically behind? But yeah, if you're a pole sitter, it should pop up, and you should get your reply done immediately by me. So hopefully that is working out there. Madhav R1337 says, have Russell, Kimi, Lindblad, Behrman, Colapinto, Ferrari, Haas with 3 transfers available. Should I use switch to 2A with Perez and then use Limitless, which would make me waste the 3rd transfer? You can't use the transfers and Limitless in the same weekend, Madhav, so you just got to choose. Alex says, currently in an airplane at 36,000 feet, flying across Canada, watching your live stream. What a time to be alive. Alex, that might be the highest anyone has ever been watching my stream. So thank you for that. At least in the air, like altitude wise. Maybe there's maybe other people have been higher figuratively. But yeah, thank you for watching me from sky high as my camera gets all funky. Got to move it a little bit there. Probably because my hair is soaking wet from having a rag on my head for a certain amount of time. All right, let's get back into it here. You guys are absolutely crushing it. I'm having a great time. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. We're starting to rumble a little bit here. We're starting to get going. We're getting into the final hour and 15 minutes of the stream. Hopefully you guys are liking the stream. Oh, okay, here we go. Rob just asked if I was Mika, and he essentially exposed me. Oh no, your secret identity has been revealed, Mika. Ferrari, Haas, Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Lindblad, Bortoletto. I like Limitless weekend, but do I still play or wait and get Bortoletto off? I think you could probably hold off just because there are more opportunities here, Benjamin, and just get rid of Bortoletto, whichever way you can. Good morning, dude, says Midias. Good morning, Midias. Hopefully you are doing well. Good evening, Rekka. I'm looking at Leclerc, Russell, Lawson, Behrman, Colapinto, Ferrari, plus Racing Bulls, or would you use Limitless with Piastri, Leclerc? Yeah, Limitless. Can't work out whether to keep Lindblad or swap for Lawson. What do you guys think? I would go with Lawson just for the easy price rise. Who is the 5th driver? Piastri? Yes, it is Piastri for me. Yes, it is Piastri for me. Hello from Brazil. What are you thinking about Limitless in Monaco after new engine check for Mercedes? Yes, I think we'll see. I'm gonna get Terry from the Fan Amp Fantasy channel, the Coffee Corner Motorsport. You guys should all follow him on TikTok and Blue Sky and stuff like that. It's one of the best. Like, it's, in my opinion, it's the most underappreciated website in motorsport right now. Solo done by Terry, so he's a bang up superstar, and I'm gonna have him on during the April break to kind of talk about what this could mean for F1 and our F1 fantasy squads. So I'm not super. I think it will affect it a little bit. Plus, these teams will be able to catch up if they are outside of 2% of the engine performance, I believe. So that is the tricky play with Monaco. I will go Mercedes, Ferrari, Antonelli, Perez, Lindblad, Lawson, Colapinto. I like it, Midias. Glug sounds like Ham or Leclerc when they're out on used mediums with Antonelli and Piastri, and Russ on new sauce for a future safety car restart. Yeah, no worries. Let's see what else we got. No Limitless on your T1 squad, even though almost all your assets are going up. So this is a little bit of, I love being a content creator for F1 Fantasy. I love you guys being here, watching, supporting the channel, super chats, memberships, likes, all that stuff, subscribing. And part of me wants to kind of do an experiment on these teams. So I want to have a Limitless here in Japan. I kind of want to have a Limitless in Canada. And I also want to have a Limitless in Monaco and just kind of see how it all plays out, because I think that'd be really interesting to have. And I think I can do it in a way where I don't sacrifice my overall rank. And personally, the T2 squad is off to a frickin' flyer. It's in the top 3K in the world already. And if I can come out of this weekend after nailing my 3x boost and my limitless in the first 3 weeks of the season, I feel like that team could be on for a pretty special year. So I just want to focus maybe on that team. And then just because if this is the best weekend for limitless, that is great. But there could be other moves. There could be other opportunities to play limitless as well. So that's why I'm maybe not going with the T1 squad for limitless. Hopefully that makes sense, Alex. Hey, UN, really appreciate the help here. You are welcome, Peter. Hopefully you are doing well. Did you ask me a question? Did I miss it? Sorry about that. Heading to bed, UN, says Henry. Activated my limitless on my T2 team. Thanks. You are welcome. Fingers crossed. Madhav says, it's my first year with Fantasy F1. Love your content. Super helpful. Thank you, Madhav. Really appreciate the support. Horror Crow CR says, is it worth changing from Limblood to Ocon with 2 free transfers and 2.8 million? Does that mean you already have Lawson? I would probably go, yeah, I actually don't mind that move. Lindblad to Ocon, get some easier points, budget rising. I've got 3 free transfers, and if I take Limitless this weekend, would it revert to 2 transfers for next race? Also, is there any solid reason to not take Limitless if you have budget increasing squad? Thanks. I think this is a great weekend to play Limitless, Chip. And if all of your assets are rising, that is also a great reason. You will only have 2 free transfers going into the Miami Grand Prix, though, if you play Limitless. So if that really bothers you, then I guess I would use your transfers. Do we go Limitless if we have one fallen asset like Bortoletto? That's really up to you. I would prefer all my assets to be rising. Some of them could fall in the background, like Colapinto and Lindblad could DNF this weekend, and then I have falling assets for the Miami Grand Prix, and I got to work on that. But for right now, it looks like it's going to be easier rises. They have pretty easy thresholds to get to a rise. We've got Colapinto at 2 points. We've got Lindblad at 5 points. So they should get there, but you never know. Crazier things have happened. I'd rather have Hulkenberg, to be honest. I think he can score more points than Bortoletto if you're guaranteed to take the 0.6 hit. But if you think that this is the best weekend to play Limitless and you have 6 of 7 assets rising, then I would go for it. Maybe Ocon out and Lindblad stays, get Colapinto. That should improve your squad. If you go Ocon all the way down to Colapinto, you'd be saving 1.9 million there, right, MDOT? So hopefully that could improve your squad elsewhere. Thoughts for my T2 experimental team: Ferrari, Mercedes, double Red Bull or Racing Bulls, double Haas, Gasly, possible, then Limitless in Miami. Yeah, I guess so. You must have a lot of budget left over. But yeah, go for it. Michael Fusco, George plus Kimi plus Checo, or Kimi plus Charles plus Ocon with Behrman, Lawson, Ferrari, Haas. I think I'd probably go George plus Kimi, to be honest. Why not run both Merc drivers? I am in my T2 squad. Racing Bulls or Haas if I've got a transfer to burn? Probably Haas. Austin says, hey, you, and only catching up now and everything since I was out of town, looking for some insights from everybody. Ask away, Austin. Fire away. Thanks. I forgot to mention a lot. I prefer Colapinto because Liam is a DNF threat too often, but he is safer for price rise. Yeah, I agree. And I'm just not entirely sure about Colapinto. He makes me a little bit nervous. Haven't really seen anything that I love from him this week. Hi, Ewan. Is Bortoletto dropping this week? It sure is, Rawi. Limitless on my Antonelli, Hamilton, Behrman, Ocon, Lindblad, Ferrari, Haas. I won 3x on Antonelli last weekend and ended up top 900 wildcard saved for after the month off. Yes, you're looking very strong there. Charles, I would use the Limitless chip, even though I have that exact same squad. And I may not use Limitless, but I think you can use Limitless for sure. Verstappen, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Perez, Bottas, Ferrari, Haas. 3 transfers. Thoughts? Verstappen to Leclerc. Bottas to Lawson. And can you get up from Bortoleto to Lindblad? If you can, I hope you can. Or Bortoleto to Colapinto. Those would be my 3 moves. If you can get up there, find Alex. Bortoleto to Perez and have 3 transfers for next week, or also trade Russell to Antonelli and get Behrman instead of Perez. 105 budget. No, I think you're all right. I think you can just do Bortoleto to Perez. Audi was proper, fast, and free practice, but I feel like we should wait to use them until after the spring break for budget building reasons. I agree, Charles. That would be fast but fragile Audi. As Italian, I hope in another Antonelli Sinner Sunday. Yeah, because what, Alcaraz lost in the 3rd round this week, so it seems like it would be Sinners to lose. Verstappen, Bortoleto, Behrman, Gasly, Lindblad, Mercedes, and Haas. Should I swap Verstappen to Kimi and Bortoleto to Lawson? Ding, ding, ding. Yes, you should, AVS. I have your T1 team, but thinking of switching to your T2 squad. I feel like that's a lot of moving pieces, right? Or just, I guess that's just 2 moving pieces. 3 moving pieces. I kind of view them similarly, Bork, so nothing wrong there. Best Limitless team to go with is still triple Ferrari, triple Mercedes, and Oscar Piastri for me. Austin says, is it more important to get Mercedes in, Ferrari out, or transfer out Bortoleto and Lindblad for Perez and Lawson? I have Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, and Racing Bulls on that team. I don't think you need to get rid of Lindblad, but you do need to get rid of Bortoleto. So, if Lindblad to Lawson facilitates Bortoleto to Perez, then I'm all for it. Perez or Colapinto for Bortoleto. Probably Colapinto. RM Cookie says, sorry I'm late, but we're back. Too many good live streams happening. Yes, there's a lot of people going live right now. Hopefully you're supporting all the content creators. Looks like you guys are crushing my stream, so I really appreciate that. There's over 230 of y'all watching right now. I hope there's at least 100 likes. You know, help me out. Let me help you kind of thing. And then don't forget, tomorrow there will also be a race review episode after the Japanese Grand Prix, 1 hour after the Grand Prix, or 45 minutes to an hour after the Grand Prix. We will be going live to talk about everything that happens in F1 Fantasy, or what has happened in F1 Fantasy. Vibe Pulse says, T2, Russell, Hamilton, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Colapinto, Ferrari, V-Carb. I want to sell Colapinto and Bortoleto and get Liam and Perez. Should I go Limitless? I think I would get Bortoleto out, but if you really want to play Limitless, go for it. Is there any reason to hold Limitless this week completely? Will there be value in a future race? I feel like Canada could be a good race. Monaco could be a good race. Singapore could also be a good race, but it's later in the season and it's a sprint race. So that could be interesting as well. Another possibility, but it is later in the season where teams will likely have enough budget to run a 4A build. So the budget delta won't be as good. Sorry, the real team is Ferrari, Haas, Leclerc, Antonelli, Behrman, Ocon, Lindblad, 106.63 transfers. Lindblad to Lawson or Limitless? I think I'm going to use 2 of my transfers to get Leclerc and Lawson into that squad. But I feel like you don't need to, so you could go Limitless. Avi says, which tracks are your fave to Limitless from now? In no particular order, it would probably be Japan, Monaco, Canada, and then potentially Singapore. So right now, after 33 minutes, we've had 246 votes. Antonelli, 57%. Russell, 43%. For who do you prefer for the 2x boost? I think it's time to get a new poll in, though. Yes. No. Played it last week. No. Not sure when I'll play it. No, playing it in Monaco. Let me know. Ooh, Sims are out. Sims are out. Sims are out. Is there a Lando grid penalty? Ask Rec. I haven't heard anything about that. Reckless Medic. Typically, Limitless is used during a sprint weekend, but it seems most people are thinking about Limitless now. Why the change this season? It was actually a change last season, Jason. So what happened last season was a bunch of the really, really smart people in F1 Fantasy Tools were kind of talking about the points delta between the tier A and the tier B assets. And what that means is, like, if we go here, okay, so last week there was a ton of points scored, right? 68, 45, 51, 48, Verstappen with 14. In 2025, there was also a ton of points scored at the Chinese Grand Prix, 45, 41, 35, 30, 29 for the top 5 assets. However, these B tier assets also scored a bunch of points, 24, 20, 22, 17 for Lance Stroll. You don't want... The best time to play the Limitless chip is when the tier A drivers score a ton of points, but the B tier drivers do not. And that happens at low overtake tracks like Monaco here. Norris 45, Leclerc 37, Piastri 23, Hamilton 19, Verstappen 18, and then only 2 drivers scored above 10 points, and then 8, 7, 5, 5. And that made the gap massive between the teams that were running Limitless and the teams that were not running Limitless. And yes, it was a perfect scenario. People don't like me pointing that out, whatever, but it is what it is. That's how it happened. Jeddah is also a good area where that happened. Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Russell, Antonelli, and then look, Sainz, Albon, the only 2 B tier assets scoring multiple points. Singapore is also a pretty good option there. As you can see, Russell, Alonso had a bunch of overtakes last year, but whatever. Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton. I prefer to play it when it's like a low overtake track and it looks like the tier A assets are going to rise. But so good question, but that's why I prefer Limitless in a non-sprint weekend with low overtake. Limitless is active. Thanks for the help. You're very welcome, M. Rebecca says, I have Russell, Leclerc, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Ferrari, Haas, and 3 free transfers. Should I switch Russell, Bortoletto for Antonelli, Behrman, and roll a transfer? Also switch Lindblad for Ocon. I like the first set of moves, Rebecca, and then you roll a transfer. I think it's great. I have Russell, Leclerc, Bortoletto, Lindblad, and Lawson. Should I move Russell to Antonelli so I have money for Bortoletto to Behrman, and or should I switch Bortoletto with Perez? I like Russell to Antonelli and Bortoletto to Behrman. Seems like a very nice move. Let's go check out the Sims. Let's go check out the Sims. Let's go check out the Sims. And there is an easy answer. Triple Ferrari, triple Mercedes with Oscar Piastri. Yep. Seems like that. So this is my team right here. This is my T1, or let's go to my T2 squad because that's the team I'm actually going to play Limitless on. Right now, that team is projected to score 217 points. If I hit the Limitless chip, bada bing, bada boom, 327 points. So that's a 110 point delta. I'm just going to take that to the bank. Not bad at all. Feel very calm. Feel very calm about playing Limitless on that squad. What is this? Oh, let's see here. Rob says, going from Russell to Antonelli and owning just one Mercedes asset this weekend doesn't feel like an inspiring transfer this weekend, even if it sets me up nicely for Amy. I bet this deadline stream is going to go well. Nice. Nice. Okay. A little bit more sip of coffee. Just seeing what we've got. Someone mentioned, uh, um, I haven't seen anything about a grid penalty. Um, so keep me in the loop, chat. Keep me in the loop if you see anything going on here. Okay. I have, yes. Okay. RL2330 says Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Ferrari, and V car with 3 transfers and 3.2 million in the bank. One to Limitless, but needs to get rid of Bortoletto. Any advice? Bortoletto to Lawson, and you are good to go, sir. Do you think Limitless is best for your T1 team as everyone going up in budget, or are you saving it for Monaco? Canada, Monaco, that kind of thing. I'm just being a little bit more patient with that T1 squad. So that's kind of where my thoughts are. I feel better about it on my T2 squad because that has 2 free transfers and it just feels a little bit easier to play Limitless. Tobias says Mercedes plus Ferrari or Mercedes plus McLaren? Mercedes plus Ferrari. Matt, same as your T2, how confident are you with Limitless? I'm considering one swap from Lindblad to Lawson and using autopilot or even switching Merc plus Ferrari early. I don't think you need to go early yet just because it is crazy things happen. I think that will be more overpowered in the sprint, in the back-to-back sprint races, Matt. So Lindblad to Lawson feels like a fine move for me. RM Cookie says, I'm hesitant to go Limitless, but I almost have to. My best team is ranked 4K global with 3 free transfers: Mercedes, Ferrari, Russell, Antonelli, Behrman, Lindblad, Colapinto, which is perfect budget-wise. So I kind of have to, unless I'm missing something. You're not missing anything, RM Cookie, because that is what I'm doing. Interesting. Russell times 2, Antonelli, Lindblad, Bortoletto, Behrman, Haas, V Carb to Russell, Antonelli, Ocon for my budget team in a private league. Yeah, those are all great moves. Why not run both Merc drivers instead of Russell and Leclerc? Because I do not have the budget to do that appropriately. Well, I guess I do. But I really don't want to get rid of Ollie Behrman. I like Ollie Behrman. Actually, I don't have enough budget to do that. I guess I could go to Perez, but if I can avoid Cadillac assets, I will be avoiding Cadillac assets. NS Chris. But good question. Gareth says, have Russell, Hamilton, Behrman, Bortoletto, Lindblad with Ferrari and Racing Bulls. Looking at getting Antonelli in for Hamilton, but means going Audi for Racing Bulls. What do you think? Yeah, I think Audi can be all right. I think you're fine there, Gareth. When is post? They're coming up. It's hammering time. Thanks for the stream. You are very welcome. It's hammering time. Think I might be in trouble now. I only have 1 Merc. That's okay. What are free transfers? I'm new to fantasy. Those are the moves you can make to change your squad. Is Bortoletto to Colapinto pretty straightforward this week? Yeah, or Lawson if you don't have Lawson, Jangstar. Saving Private T1, Ferrari, Haas, Antonelli, Leclerc, Lawson, Lindblad, Colapinto versus Ferrari, Haas, Antonelli, Hamilton, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto versus... I like the third team the most, Din. I used Limitless last week. What should I do for my team? Russell, Behrman, Leclerc, Lindblad, Bortoletto for our Racing Bulls is 3x viable. What should I do? I would not use 3x. I would maybe... You really want to get rid of Bortoletto. So maybe Russell to Antonelli and Bortoletto to Ocon or Lawson. Is Lawson, Antonelli, Leclerc, Ocon, Behrman, Haas, Ferrari good for T1? Yes, it is very good for T1. We just got the Sims. Anyone that explains what are chips, free transfers, Limitless. I have a chip strategy guide that just came out this week. JT or JDTRRRs. So you can go check that out and it explains everything. Kimi, Russell, Lindblad, Lawson, Perez, Ferrari, Haas. Should I hold this swap or should I hold this or swap Lindblad for Behrman and Perez for Hulkenberg? Been trying to get Behrman. Kimi, Russell, Lindblad, Lawson, Perez, Ferrari, Haas. Should I hold this or swap Lindblad for Behrman and Perez for Hulk? No, probably not. I think you're fine there with the budget building. Who has the best chance for driver of the day? Maybe Verstappen again if he qualifies lows and bursts through the field. Maybe Piastri if he gets on the podium, Mr. Iceman. Maybe Piastri. Jason says, thank you for all the knowledge and insights. Much appreciated. You are very welcome. You are very welcome, sir. Thank you for joining the Pole Sitters Club. And you guys can do that too if you would like to become a pole sitter. $5 a month. Early access to videos. We've got power rankings coming out next week. So you guys can vote on the power rankings and then I put them all together and we kind of make our own little power rankings for F1 Fantasy Pole Position. It is a good bit of fun. Nate, Antonelli ×2, Leclerc, Ocon, Behrman, Ferrari, Haas. I have 3 transfers. Do I change from Lindblad to Lawson? I probably would. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that move. I guess I could also just look at my T1 squad. See what the best moves it suggests for that is. Let's minimize or zoom this out a little bit. Let me take a gander at my team here real quick, everybody. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay. Expected points. Let's say 220. Apply filters. And then max budget rise. It's still saying to do that. Okay, I have not been looking at any of these options. That is confusing. Lawson and Colapinto. And Mercedes. I don't want to do that. I just want to use 2 of my transfers. I want 3 free transfers. Damn, really? Hold on. All right, let's try this. 210 expected points. Aha, now we're talking. Leclerc and Lawson. Really not that much more. But it feels like a better bet to get the rise. These are kind of the moves I've been thinking about. The Leclerc-Lawson move. But it seems suboptimal. But 9 points to get 1.7 or 1.8 more in budget. That also feels quite good. So there we go. Okay. I think that feels good. And then for my T3 squad, I have no idea what to do with this squad. Mercedes, Ferrari. So keep Antonelli, bring in Behrman and Hulkenberg. Maybe I should bring in Hulkenberg, but then I've got Hulkenberg and Bottas falling. That's definitely not great, Bob. Man. It's literally just saying the third best team is to just keep my squad and just let it roll, which is not super great. But all right. Adolfo says Antonelli 2x, Russell, Behrman, Colapinto, Lindblad, or Lawson, V-Carb, and note or do Limitless. You can do Limitless with that squad. Yeah, you can do Limitless, Adolfo. Would you Limitless with a Russell, Gasly, Behrman, Lindblad, Lawson with Mercedes and Audi? I know Audi is a risk, but I have a feeling about Limitless. If you have a feeling about Limitless, then go for it, RL2330. Would you rather have Lindblad or Ocon on your team? Consider I have Behrman and Lawson already. With Haas, Ferrari also is Ocon up for a price rise. I would rather have Ocon. My team is T2. Any changes needed, or should we Limitless? I think we are going to Limitless this. Anmol. FP3 is out now. Thank you, Lachlan's. Bortoletto OT. I would get Bortoletto out. Have you considered playing Grid Rival Fantasy? My friends and I are trying it this year, and the scoring is really fun. I do have a league for Grid Rival. However, it's currently on my phone, and I'm currently using my phone to I'm currently using my phone to live stream on this. But let's see here. I'm not entirely sure how this would work. I don't think this is going to work. But so I will probably miss the deadline for that because I'm using this phone to use as my camera. So that will be interesting. But I enjoy Grid Rival a little bit. Can anyone answer why it's a bad idea to swap Leclerc for Antonelli if I have Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Perez, Ferrari, and Racing Bulls? It is not a bad idea to swap Leclerc for Antonelli. Or unless you're, I mean, if you can bring in Antonelli, that's a good idea. So when playing Limitless, does your original team rise/fall in price, not the Limitless team? Yes, it is the team that you locked in for the Chinese Grand Prix that will grow budget, like Ma. What is Limitless or free transfers? Free transfers are the moves that you get to kind of swap drivers in and out, and Limitless gives you unlimited budget and unlimited transfers for one race weekend. Do you think Piastri will finish the race this time? That's the only thing that makes me worried about Limitless. I just have to think that he will finish a race at this point. Like, there's no way he's not going to start 3 Grand Prix in a row, right? Like, if that happens, then so be it. Thoughts on Limitless with Russell, Leclerc, Lawson, Lindblad, Behrman, Ferrari, Racing Bulls? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. 1,000 times yes. Got Leclerc, Russell, Perez, Bottas, Lindblad with Ferrari and Haas. Swapping Russell and Bortoletto for Antonelli and Behrman. Roll a transfer and hopefully set me up for Ferrari, Mercedes soon. I love that. What is the best Limitless? McLaren, I think Mercedes, Ferrari, Russell, Behrman, Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc. I would just bring in Hamilton instead of Verstappen, Tommy, and you're good to go. I do have the budget, says NSX Chris. I would go, yeah, I'd rather have Antonelli than Leclerc. RM Cookie says, for most of it, it's crazy trying not to fall asleep right now. Haha, but it's either survive tonight / this weekend or credit after the 5. Yeah, I know. I can't, like, crazy. I swapped Leclerc for Hamilton in China because I thought Hamilton looked better, and he did look better. It just didn't show up in the fantasy points. How many points does Lindblad need for a 0.6 rise? It's 5. Same as your T2 team, Colapinto to Lawson. I'm going to Limitless that T2 squad. So, but if I wasn't Limitlessing, I would probably do Lindblad to Lawson, actually. 24 Leith says, I've got Russell, Hamilton, Colapinto, Bortoletto, Behrman, V-Carb, Ferrari. If I use Limitless, do I make moves first before applying the chip to maximize budget moves for next week? No. If you make the moves, they will revert no matter what. So just play the Limitless chip if you want. However, Bortoletto is going to fall 0.6 million. So you will have to think about that in the background of your squad. But Russell will rise, Hamilton will rise, Colapinto should rise, Behrman will rise, V-Carb will rise, and Ferrari will rise as well. So 6 of the 7 assets are rising, 24 Leaf, so not bad at all. MacAttack says, good morning. Good morning, MacAttack. Hope you're doing well. Arav says, do you play FPL, Fantasy Premier League football? I saw in your Twitter feed. I sure do. I'm not playing it very well this season, Arav, but I do play it. When was that? I finished top 5K 2 seasons ago, and that is about as good as it will ever get for me. Russell, Gasly, Behrman, Ocon, Lindblad, Mercedes, V-Carb. Can I Limitless or not reliable enough for budget building? It's okay for budget building. Like, what do we got here? Gasly. I reckon Gasly can get you the 4 points he needs to rise. Maybe not the 15 for a max price rise, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Behrman, 99%. Lawson, boom, 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 boom. So Colapinto, according to the Sims, Colapinto has an 87% chance of rising. Lindblad has a 80% chance of rising. Perez, 69%. Gasly, 65%. Signs is at 77%. So those are all good assets to look at. Just want you to know that the stream definitely has more than 3 likes. Thanks for helping so many people. You are very welcome, RL. Thank you for joining the chat. Happy deadline to y'all. We'll miss you guys next month. Oh, it's going to be so sad, McGinney. But there still will be content coming out of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. Race review tomorrow. So hopefully I will see you guys there for one last live stream. Then we will do some team selection, and then I'm going to get into some other episodes with other content creators, hopefully, in the F1 Fantasy space. So make sure you are liking the videos, subscribing to the YouTube channel so you do not miss any of that. Where did you guys go? There you go. I have 3 free transfers, but I don't feel like I can do much. Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, and Borletto swapped to Colapinto with Ferrari / Haas. Is that really all I can do? I think so. I think that's all you can do, Austin. Not bad, though. If I make a transfer prior to Limitless, then Chip, do I get the changes before? I've never played F1 Fantasy before. I want to drop Borletto out, then go Limitless. No. If you play Limitless, the team you had in China will be the team that grows budget in the background no matter what. Dezex says, morning, so I'm stuck in Hadjar, Russell, Mercedes, Red Bull team with Behrman, Lindblad, Colapinto. To not take -10, I can either Hadjar to Gasly or RB to Alpine or something else to get to a constructor soonish. Tips? I would get rid of Hadjar. Hadjar to Gasly would be fine. And Racing Bulls is fine as well. So I don't think you're in a bad spot. You could maybe just do Hadjar to Gasly and roll the transfer. And then you'd have 3 free transfers to maneuver around for Miami. Lawson or Ocon, I've got Colapinto, Behrman, Antonelli, Leclerc, Ferrari, V-Carb. I'd probably say Ocon for points and Lawson for budget. But it's what, 3.7 points? Yeah, Lawson for budget, Ocon for points. So whichever one you want there, Glaubus. I've got Bortoletto, but want to play Limitless. Should I wait for Monaco? Probably, unless you feel really strong about playing it here. Sahil says, currently have Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, Ocon, Lawson, Ferrari, and V-Carb. Thinking of moving to Antonelli, Behrman, Lawson, Bortoletto, Mercedes, Ferrari with a -10. Problem I see is that Bortoletto and Bottas lose 0.6 each. Thoughts? I feel like if you're going to lock yourself into a -6 with Bortoletto, I'd honestly rather go with Nico Hulkenberg, Sahil. I'd rather go with Hulkenberg over Bortoletto, but everything else looks pretty okay. Should I change anything in 2X, Antonelli, Lawson, Leclerc, Ocon, Behrman, Haas, Ferrari? No. Squad looks really good. Who would you pick as a differential 5th driver for a Limitless team? Lando would be differential, but like super risky. Do you think 2A constructor will be worth it as McLaren, Red Bull, and Alpine will have its place ahead of Tier B drivers and constructors and drivers? I think it will be by Miami. I don't think it will be here as much. It's not McLaren, Ferrari. It's Mercedes, Ferrari, Tommy. That is the best team. For Limitless, Leclerc plus Perez versus Hamilton plus Lindblad. Oh, that's really gross. But probably Leclerc plus Perez. Can I transfer Lindblad to Lawson and then use Limitless? No, you cannot. I have the same team as your T2. Do I Limitless? Yes. What is the best Limitless team? It is triple Mercedes, triple Ferrari, and Oscar Piastri for me. Anonymous says T3, Russell, Antonelli, Lindblad, Colapinto, Bortoletto, Ferrari, Racing Bulls, 3 free transfers. Should I swap Bortoletto for Perez or Russell to Leclerc, Lindblad to Lawson, Bortoletto to Behrman? My T2 is already triple Racing, 2 Mercs, Ferrari, and Colapinto, so I don't want to repeat. I would just do... I think I would just do the Bortoletto to Perez move. I kind of like the double Mercedes build you've got going there. Similar budget question for Limitless versus not. Leclerc ×2, Antonelli, Lindblad, Behrman, Bortoletto, Ferrari, Haas. Should I move or Limitless? Worried about Bortoletto. Yeah, I don't love it, but if you feel super convinced about Japan as a great Limitless option, then I would go for it. But you can make a move to get Bortoletto out of your team instead. You could go Haas to Racing Bulls and Bortoletto to Lawson, I think, and that should be good. Sorry about your Cougs, brother. Oh, God, that was abysmal. It was so bad. I was just like, who is this team? Lawson or Ocon? Lawson budget, Ocon points. Morning. So after that FP3 guess, the question is, who's your fifth driver? For Limitless, McLaren constructor is a no-go. You are correct, Iceberg, and it's probably going to be Oscar Piastri. Probably going to be Oscar Piastri. Impulsive says, tempted to pull this trigger. Mercedes plus Ferrari, Antonelli ×2, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto, Perez. Whew. Not bad. Not bad at all, and I like it quite a lot. My T1 is your T2. Nice. Nice. I'm probably going to limitless that T2 squad. Do you think 2A constructors will be worth it as McLaren, Red Bull, and Alpine will have its place ahead? I think it will be for Miami. How many points does Perez need to avoid a fall? I think it's -6. I think it's -6, if I remember off the top of my head. And it is... Yes, he needs -6 points to avoid a fall. So pretty much just don't DNF. But in a Cadillac, that can get kind of sketchy. Lo Wei Cheng says, Max, Ollie, Nico, Hadjar, Lindblad with Mercedes and Haas as constructors, 3 free transfers. Am I good, or is there a change you would recommend? Max to Antonelli and Nico to Lawson, just to save yourself some budget there. Those would probably be my moves. I'm stuck with Audi in my team. I have the budget to remove them, but I would incur a -10. Should I wildcard, take the -10, or just leave out? I would just leave Audi 0. I think they're going to be all right this weekend. 24 points for a max price rise is doable for a team that looks that good. If playing Limitless on 2 teams, would you use the same team or make them separate? I'm assuming that's what you're going to say there. Daniel. No, I don't think you need to get 2 different... You could maybe spread it by going Piastri and Lando if you want, but overall I would keep most of the bones the same. Luca says, Mercedes, Ferrari, Behrman ×2, Lawson, Ocon, Gasly, Colapinto, 97.6 million, 195.4 expected points. Should I go limitless budget? Yes. You should go limitless budget and then change that out later. Would McLaren be too risky for limitless instead of Ferrari? Do you see any chance McLaren works? I see a chance McLaren works. It's just such a slim chance that I don't think we can afford to take that risk on our limitless chip with McLaren. So, especially with Ferrari looking pretty good in the pit stops and the starts, like overtakes, and like Ferrari's just like so spicy at the beginning of a race and with the pit stops that I would probably back them. Even if McLaren does finish like 3-4 in the race, I feel like Ferrari could still compete with them as a constructor. But McLaren has shown us so much downside with not starting 3 of the 4 Grand Prix, and Lando's car seems to be on the high stands of doom every second session at this point. So there we are. Colapinto over Nico in T2? Yes, please. If you're playing Limitless on 2 teams... Oh, yep. Sorry, I already answered that. Lucas says Mercedes. Brill, thank you. Yep, you are very welcome, Daniel. Nolan says, currently... Oh, sorry. Luca. Mercedes, Ferrari, Behrman, Lawson. Okay, I think I answered that as well. Currently have Russell, Gasly, Behrman, Colapinto, Lindblad, Ferrari, and Haas. Do I swap Haas to Racing Bulls to get budget room so I can upgrade from Colapinto to Ocon? Probably not. I'm kind of just seeing... Is this what I would look like if I was bald? If I was bald, I would just look like this. Is that right? Not a great look. Kind of look like Costanza. Worlds are colliding, Jerry! Yeah, don't think that's a good look for me. So hopefully I can keep my hair a little bit longer, or I'll just go the baseball cap route. Good to know. Good to know. Crazy things happen on stream at 6:30 in the morning. I have Lindblad and VCarb in my team. Is that reason not to go for Limitless? No, that's a good reason to go for your Limitless team. Who is better, Colapinto or Lindblad? I prefer Colapinto this weekend. Should I change Bortoletto or go Limitless? I would change Bortoletto probably. I missed your comments on why Antonelli versus Russell for your 2x. Well, one, value, so it can improve the rest of your squad. And also, I just think that Antonelli has a better shout. However, I'm about to play Limitless here on this. You know what? Let's just do that. What are we? 30 minutes away from the deadline. We're gonna hit this. Let's ride. Nick Cage, gone 60 seconds. Anybody? You should know that. All right. So the T2 squad is getting the Limitless chip. Here we go. Bingo, bango, bongo. Bob's your uncle. So Russell, Antonelli, Leclerc, Hamilton, and where are you at, Oscar? Oscar the driver, not Oscar the cat, obviously. So there we go. Now I just need to figure out if it looks prettier like this. What do we think? Do we want to go with it's all like this? So it's like symmetrical. I think that looks nice. Let's set it up that way. And I am probably going to give Russell the boost here, just because playing the Limitless is differential enough. And actually, Rain Fantasy made a pretty good point that Russell is in 32% of teams and Antonelli's in 26% of teams. But if we go, sorry, in case you guys don't know, I'm going through like a mini migraine still, which sucks. If people go through migraines all the time, like y'all are troopers. Happens to me like once a year. But yeah, people seem to wait. Where are we at? Elite data. Nope. Subscriber 500. Global 500. Russell's in a little bit less of global top 500 teams, so just go with that with a little bit of a differential. And the Sims are still backing Russell to win out. I think he might be hiding a little bit of pace here. So yeah, that's my Limitless team. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Boom. Limitless is activated. So here we go. Symmetrical, yes. Michael says, first off, hello. So 2x Russell or maybe Antonelli? I'm going Russell on the Limitless chip, Michael, just to be safe. Just feels a little bit safer. I'm already playing the differential with the Limitless chip. So that's where we're at with that. That's why I'm going with Russell. However, if I was on my original squad, I may have gone with Antonelli over Russell. I don't know why. Would it be okay, Limitless, if I had Mercedes and Ferrari, but Russell, Antonelli, Norris, Piastri, and Leclerc? Yes, I think that's fine, Formula Bean. If you want to be a little bit different, if you don't love what Hamilton's been up to, I understand that. He said he had no confidence in the car. He looked a little bit better in FP3. Still behind Piastri, but I believe that Ferrari is a little bit more dialed in the McLaren in race pace, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Austin said, would you be nervous about having triple Haas with Antonelli, Leclerc, and Lawson, Ferrari? That's my last hesitancy. Everything else is already locked in, and thanks for always being so helpful and gracious. Of course, Austin. No, I would have no hesitation about that. Triple Haas has done us well for the first 2 races of the F1 fantasy season, so let's just keep riding that while we can. I've been so locked into the stream answering y'all's questions that I forgot to remove the ugliness of the timer of the giant zeros here. So let's go back there. Bada bing, bada boom. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. It could go better. There we go. That's better. Perfect. Perfect. You guys are absolutely crushing it. We're almost over 5,500 subscribers, or 5,550 subscribers, which means we must have had about 50 subscribers on this stream alone. So thank you for being here. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Thank you for hitting the notification bell so you get figure out whenever I go live. Um, Admittedly, I'm a little bit surprised that I'm still here. I really, it was really touch and go there for a second to do the stream at all. Let's see. Leapsfrog is all in on Limitless this week. Only uncertainty was the DRS driver, so it's my only split this week. Ooh la la. Leapsfrog went triple extra DRS boost last week as well. So, this guy is going all in at the beginning of the F1 fantasy season. So he is the 2024 champ. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. See how it is. Coffee Corner Bar Store says Limitless activated. Price gains and potential points make this feel like a good time. However, there are McLaren doubts here. Let's wait and see. Okay, so Terry is doing the same squad as me. Feeling pretty good. Yeah. Everyone's starting to feel pretty good. Everyone's starting to feel pretty good. 228 concurrent viewers. I guess that means I need to get into it, huh? Yeah, we've got some chats going here. But no, not nervous about Triple Haas. Ariel says, I used 2 free transfers and decided to build budget and get rid of Audi. Ferrari plus Haas, Antonelli, Hamilton, Behrman, Lawson, Colapinto. Nice. Love that. The problem with that is I have T1 that has Kimi and Lawson. T2, I have Kimi as well. Not sure if it's wise to go triple Kimi. Triple Kimi is fine. Triple Kimi is fine. Overtaking historically been tricky at Suzuka, holding off on Limitless in case these regs show a bit more unpredictability on these types of tracks. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Anonymous, who are you putting 2x on? Antonelli and all 3 teams, or switch it up with Russ for differential? Going Russell on my Limitless as a little bit of a differential here. Anonymous. So T2 goes Limitless due to fact that T2 base team will still rise in budget. Limitless at that point. Exactly, SWC913. Yes, you are correct. 2A constructor team for T3, Leclerc, Bottas, Lawson, Behrman, Lindblad with Ferrari, Mercedes using all 3 transfers. I went ahead with this. Nice. I like it. Piastri or Norris for the 5th driver in Limitless. Piastri's just shown me a little bit more so far this weekend, so I'm going to go with him. Given reliability issues, I'm holding off on Limitless till Monaco. I don't trust McLaren nor Max to finish. Ooh, I don't have Max, but we'll see, Ivo. I have 3 transfers, and I have Russell, Leclerc, Bortoleto, Lawson, Arvid, Lindblad, Ferrari, and Haas. Suggest me some good lineups. You have a good lineup right there. You could go Russell to Antonelli and Bortoleto to Barron. Should I 2x Russell or Leclerc? Russell. Russell or Antonelli 2x. I gotta say, I'm doing Russell on my Limitless 2x for safety. But in my T1 squad, I'm probably going to go with, if I just had my T2 squad with Russell Antonelli, I would probably go Antonelli. But I'm going Russell on my Limitless. I've just activated Limitless with you on T3 and 3x Russ. Let's go, Rebecca. We can do this. Okay, cheers. I'll stick with Russell for Limitless. Nice. Great to see some of the pole sitters in the chat. My other team has all price rises except Bortoleto. Should I Limitless today or just change them to Lawson and do Limitless in Monaco? Yeah, I think that's fine, Zero. Have some salt water. It'll help a bit. Thank you for the tip, Ryan. I will do that after this. I have Gatorade, which is about, I don't know, I'm feeling okay. How do you feel about Hulk after FP3? I feel really good about Nico Hulkenberg. I had a TikTok, a short, a reel, whatever the kids are calling it, about him being underrated. And I fully expect to be talking about him consistently for the next month, as he is going to be a fantastic asset for the Miami Grand Prix and moving forward. So if you just want to go for a points grab, go for it. I literally never had a headache in my life. Probably explains why you were top 15K and I was nearly outside top 50K last year. Yeah, that game will do that to us. But yes, headaches suck. But yeah, migraines are way worse. So, I mean, I only get them like once a year. But yeah, I'm just a big baby, so it's fine. I'll be all right. Hey, do you think I should use second transfer to replace Lindblad for Colapinto? With Lindblad, I'll get 0.0 in my pocket. With Colapinto, I'll get 0.4. Pretty sideways move. And it could just depend on who DNFs. But yeah, sure. If it's a luxury transfer, sure, go for Colapinto. McLaren three-way or Ferrari three-way in Limitless? I will go Ferrari, Ved. Nicoletta, Russell, Leclerc, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Ferrari, Haas. Switch to Bortoleto to Perez and carry transfer or switch Russell to Antonelli and Bortoleto to Behrman. I might do the second set of moves there. Antonelli and Behrman in. Zen95. Hello there. I have Russell 2x, Antonelli, Behrman, Colapinto, Lindblad, Ferrari V car with 0.4 million left. I don't know what to change in this team. Any recommendations or should I Limitless? Seems like a good team to Limitless. Go for it. Pop the Limitless on both my T1 and T2 squads. Only difference is 2x on Ant for T1 and Russell for T2. Fingers crossed. Nico versus Bottas. Nico Hulkenberg. McLaren 3-way or Ferrari 3-way in Limitless. I'll go Ferrari. Why do we only have 3 likes? Apparently we have more than 3 likes, but I don't know. Are you locking in T1? I will here in 2 minutes, Leica. Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Ferrari, and triple V carb to pivot into Hulk Mercedes from Leclerc Ferrari next week with no negative 10. Worth the risk of a triple V carb this race, or do Ocon instead of Lindblad take? Nah, it's not worth a negative 10. Just hold off. William, I think you're in a good spot. T1, Hamilton to Leclerc, Lindblad to Lawson, or stick and keep 3 transfers. I'm going to do Hamilton. I'm going to do those moves. Those are going to be my moves, OTAPs. And I will have 3 free transfers from Miami that way. Having a migraine sucks. It really happens to me, and it usually because I have a stiff neck. So once I treat the muscle tension by migraine, hope you feel better soon. Huh. Good shout, Adolfo. Max and Oscar instead of Hamilton and Limitless? No, not for me. But if that's what you want to do, Reese, go for it. Max can keep getting away with it, but hope is not a strategy. I've got 2 transfers. I'm ditching Bortoleto for Lawson. Should I save or swap Haas for Racing Bulls? I've got 2 transfers. I'm ditching Bort for Lawson. Should I save or swap Haas for it? I would just save. I don't think there's a big enough difference. I have the same T1 question is, should I go Hamilton to Leclerc? Yes, I think I will be. Neurology nurse here. Try some magnesium glycinate. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Nikon. I appreciate that. I usually take magnesium before I go to sleep. But, yeah, I guess I'll take more after this. I appreciate that. You guys are so nice, taking care of me while I have this disgusting rag on my head. I don't even know if that's work. I mean, it's gotten me through the stream. All the ice has melted now, and it's not very cold anymore, but that's where we're at. If I Limitless with 3 transfers, do I still have 3 after play? You do not, the thingsies. You will only have 2 transfers coming out of the Miami Grand Prix, or coming into the Miami Grand Prix. Paolo, I have Russell, Behrman, Lindblad, Ocon, Bortoleto, Mercedes, and Racing Bulls. Should I Limitless or switch out Bortoleto? If Bortoleto, for who? I would get Bortoleto out and try to get Liam Lawson into your squad. Carlos Hinosa says, my team is Russell, Antonelli, Lawson, Lindblad, Bortoleto, Ferrari, V-Car. Bortoleto for Colapinto and roll 1 transfer. That's perfect, Carlos. Yes. When would you recommend using autopilot? The sooner the better, or whenever you have 2 tier A drivers. Like if you had Russell and Antonelli in a squad this week, I think it would be fine to use it this week. I have almost the same T1 as you, except I have Leclerc, not Hamilton. I wonder if I should switch out Lindblad or use Limitless. I think I'm going to do Leclerc. I'm going to do Hamilton to Leclerc and Lindblad to Lawson this week and not use Limitless and save it for another weekend. Ved, I have already answered that question, so hopefully you have heard me say that I would go triple Ferrari. Would going Verstappen on Limitless be too rogue? No. I just prefer the safety of Oscar because he has just looked a little bit better this week. And Max has DNF'd 1 race, and Oscar hasn't started both races, but Verstappen could have like a crap qualifying and score a bunch more points than Piastri, but I don't know. I just don't, my brain doesn't work that way to kind of bank on, it does for B tier assets, but for A tier assets, I just don't think Red Bull has the pace to overtake McLaren, so I wouldn't be too worried about that at all. I put Mercedes and V-Carb instead of Ferrari, Haas, almost same drivers. Very strong squad there. Can I do changes for budget and then use Limitless? No, you cannot, Basti hey-ho. Autopilot will still have 2 premium drivers rather than 2 correct. Yes, sir. That is correct. 128 likes. Okay, cool. Are you sure about burning 2 transfers by not using Limitless on T2 instead of just burning 1 and getting a lot of points? Well, I think what I'm going to do is probably do these 2 moves here. I'm going to bring in Leclerc and Mr. Liam Lawson. And those will be my moves for my T1 squad. F1 Predict. I actually already did F1 Predict Bussin'. So if you go check that out, I think it was maybe like an hour ago in the stream. An hour and 5 minutes ago is when I did it. Haas plus Perez versus VCarb plus Colpinto versus VCarb plus Lindblad. Probably VCarb with Colpinto. Is it silly to go 2x McLaren on Limitless without Ham? Not silly. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to check this real quick. So points is that, but budget, I don't want, no. Filters, add filters, expected points, at least 220 points. Damn, it's really hater. And then the most budget I can get here is 302, which is, oh, this is not right. That's my T2 squad. I'm talking about this squad. Here we go. Yeah, 211 points to get an extra little bit of budget here. I feel pretty good about it. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be this. Hey, look, the website didn't reset for a whole minute. What a wonderful world. Yeah, that feels good. All right, so T1 and T2 are taken care of. You know what? Actually, let me do this squad here real quick. And then I will be all of yours for the rest of the episode. Let's see here. Okay, so I just need to tweet this out. Oh, I need to actually keep forgetting that I have this new thing where I try to post everything on Blue Sky and Threads because not everyone uses X this week or anymore. Okay. New post. Boom, boom, boom. The lineup is locked for the Japanese Grand Prix. Not using LL on T2, but not T1. So just Ham and Lin to Leclerc and Law. Will look to use LL in either Canada or Monaco later. And then we add this, take a picture, there we go, of that. And then I should, you know what, I will take a picture of my T2 squad as well, just so people can see that I have also used Limitless. The lineup is locked. See y'all on the other side. I think that's going to do it. Okay, perfect. All right, now I'm all yours for the rest of the stream. What do we got? Triple Haas or Behrman Ocon V card? Triple Haas. Is final fix something to consider if Piastri qualifies high? Example, Leclerc to Piastri. I don't know because I think Leclerc will still get past Piastri. Russell to Antonelli to facilitate Bortoletto to Ocon. Yeah, I think that's a good shout, David. Hamilton, Antonelli, Ferrari, Triple Haas, Lindblad. Okay, Hamilton, Antonelli, Ferrari, Triple Haas, Lindblad T1, George Gasly, Triple Haas, Mercedes, and Lindblad T2. What chip should I use and which teams? You can use Limitless on your T1 and your T3 squad. Not entirely sold on Gasly for the max budget rise, but you could use Limitless on all three squads. Or you could also use Antonelli, or you could also use Autopilot on one of them as well. In Limitless team, should we go for Max, Piastri, or Norris? I'm going with Piastri. Can you expedite? Can I do changes for budget, or how does it work? Once you play Limitless, you're locked in, and all the transfers you made this week do not count. So you'll just have the team you locked in for China is the team that you will have for budget growth in the background. I have 3 transfers, but we're playing Limitless this week. Is it wise? Yes, that's fine. Migraines suck. I get them pretty often. You're a trooper for still doing the stream. I can't even get the. Yeah, it was rough this morning. It was really touch and go. Roll a transfer to Miami or switch Lindblad to Ocon. Feels like a little bit of a luxury transfer, but it is risky to keep Lindblad. I would probably keep the transfer RL2330. I'm thinking of going to 2A constructor next week, so might as well use Autopilot with Claire and Antonelli, right? Yep, great call. I'm surprised you're still here to take care of yourself, though. Otherwise, likes for you and guys. Yes, thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. My budget is 105.4 with Antonelli, Russell, Behrman, Perez, Lawson, Ferrari, and Racing Bulls. I've used my 2 transfers, but to transition to double A, I have to drop my Russell to Hulkenberg. Any thoughts? Don't do that yet. Do that for Miami. For Limitless, do I 2X Russell or Antonelli? I'm leaning towards Antonelli. I'm leaning on I'm leaning Russell. The differential of playing the Limitless is enough for me that I'll just take the safety of Russell finishing P2. It's okay. Maybe it's not maximizing it, but I feel like it's fine. Can bank on Max dropping back as he won't lose too many points if he finishes where he should be. Haha, fair enough. Forgot to ask any last minute changes drivers to my earlier comment. I do. Oh, no, I think you're all good. I don't think you need to change any of your drivers NSC 1077, but you could use Autopilot on one team and Limitless on the other. Is it worth it to switch from Gasly Hulk to Lindblad Lawson to get a higher price rise or not? Because Hulk looks decent this weekend. For budget, I think I would, because that's about, you could be looking at 1.2 million versus a 0.4 price fall, and that's kind of a big gap there, SC Gamer. So then I would go for it. When will you Limitless your T1? Canada, Monaco. Just feel like quite comfortable with the decision-making process I'm going through right now. And I don't want to force it. I'm comfortable playing the T2, the Limitless on the T2 squad this week. I'm just waiting to I'm just waiting it out a little bit. I just want to see how it all goes. For Limitless, do I 2X Russell or Antonelli? I'm leaning towards Antonelli. I don't think you could go wrong with either. Right now, I'm going with Russell for the safety of it. Antonelli 3X, Russell 2X, Lawson, Lindblad, Cole, Pinto, Ferrari, Audi, hoping to carry transfer to Miami to switch for 2A drivers to 2X. What do you think? I think that's good. I probably wouldn't have played the 3X this weekend because I just prefer those on a sprint weekend. But, yeah. Other than that, the squad looks good. Paulo says, one more question. Have Russell, Behrman, Lindblad, Ocon, Borletto, Mercedes, and Racing Bulls. Borletto to Lawson or 1 Borletto or 2 Russell Borletto? I would just do just Borletto to Lawson is fine. Check if your migraine is tension really bad. Pressing your neck muscles near the skull base. Pain usually matches the side of tension. Okay, thank you. Damn. You cannot remove a chip once it's activated, unfortunately. No, you cannot. Speed and power. Thoughts? Russell, 2X, Antonelli, Lindblad, Nico, Ocon, and Racing Bulls, and Ferrari. Nico will fall, but I think he's going to score pretty good points. Thoughts on 3X? I would not play 3X this week. Saksha Manand says, hey, Ewan, need your thoughts on Leclerc versus Kimi, Bortz versus Hulk, which Audi is faster, keep them both. In my T3 squad, I prefer Kimi, I prefer Hulkenberg, I prefer Hulkenberg in both Audis. I would prefer a little bit of Haas there, but if you can't get there, no worries. Nicoletta says, Russell, Antonelli, Behrman, Lindblad, Colapinto, Ferrari, V-Car with 3 transitions. Colapinto to Lawson, keep carrying. Yep, Colapinto to Lawson, bingo bango, easy money. Maybe even Lindblad to Lawson, to be honest. Why are you not using Limitless on your T1 squad? I'm kind of just doing a little content creator experiment where I'm going to play Limitless in Japan. I'm hopefully going to play Limitless in Canada. And then I'm hopefully going to play Limitless in Monaco on my T3 squad and just kind of see how it all shakes out. But I think Limitless is a great play this weekend. Christian Camacho says, sorry, I'm late. Quick question. Oh, I answered. I have Leclerc, Antonelli, Behrman, Lindblad, Ocon, Ferrari, Haas, Limitless. Yes, that is a good squad to Limitless. Lundstrom, Antonelli, Russell, Lindblad, Colapinto, Bortoletto, Ferrari, V-Car. Is a good team to play Limitless, or should I go Bortoletto to Lawson? I'd probably go Bortoletto to Lawson. Gasly or Ocon? I'd probably go Ocon. Mr. Best says, thanks, June, for the stream. Hope your headache gets better. Thank you, Mr. Best. Appreciate it. My T3 team happens to be your exact team. What, you just changed your T1, T2, I3 tries. Also could Limitless. Maybe that's the best move so the team is super budget optimized. I agree, Mitch. Yeah, pretty good squad. Haas or Audi for this week. Haas for budget rising, and they'll probably be pretty close in points. Timbermare8411 says, why not 2x Limitless with Ant? FP2 and FP3 look promising, a chance for driver of the day is higher. I agree. But Limitless is already differential enough that if Russell gets the 35 points this weekend, I will feel pretty good about that. Antonelli probably needs a bonus if he doesn't win to get above Russell. I feel like Russell is maybe holding a little bit back as well. But we will see. We will see. But having Russell and Antonelli in your squad with Mercedes is going to be enough for me regardless. 3x on Antonelli. If you mean the chip, I probably wouldn't play the 3x chip this week. But if you mean 2x on Antonelli, then yes, feels like a good, especially over all Ferrari teams. Limitless or Leclerc, Ocon, Haas. Limitless or Leclerc, Ocon, Haas to Mercedes, Lawson, Hulkenberg, or just Lindblad to Lawson. I would do just Lindblad to Lawson. When you Limitless 2 teams, do you tend to play differential on yourself or just go with what you think is best both times? Thanks, man. I think you should just go with what's best, but I think it's just natural for us to spread the risk. So maybe one team has Piastri and the other team would have Lando. Lindblad or Ocon for budget rise? Ocon for me, Mark. Locked in. Thoughts? Antonelli, Russell, Behrman, Colapinto, Lawson with autopilot. Probably last race with 2 premium drivers. I like it. Max or Russell, or Max or Oscar for Limitless? I would go Oscar. What do you think about Audi and their drivers and Alpine and their drivers? Audi looks fast but fragile. Alpine looks consistent. The data says they look pretty good as well. I don't love Colapinto, but I'm going to be stuck with him. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at there. So why can you not remove a chip like autopilot before the deadline? That's just the way the game mechanics are, unfortunately. Any teams on making the worst team possible for Destructors Championship? Triple Aston Martin, Albon, Cadillac, Bottas, and yeah, triple Cadillac, triple Aston Martin, and Albon probably. Good luck, everyone says that. Good luck, Alex. Maybe weird question, but how do you have 3 free transfers on T1? I rolled a transfer from last week, so if you don't use both of your transfers, then you get 1 transfer the following week. I did Lindblad to Lawson 2, Urge for 3 transfers, struggle again. Ollie, I agree, Mr. Iceman. Russell, Antonelli, and Ferrari, or Merck, Ferrari, and Antonelli. Russell, Antonelli, Ferrari for now. He has 3 transfers. There we go. Ocon or Gasly. I'm going Ocon. I have Antonelli, Leclerc, Behrman, Lindblad, Lawson with Ferrari and Haas. I transfer Bortoletto out for Lawson. Would you do anything else? No, I would not. Were you planning on playing any chips in T1? I am not. Lindblad to Ocon if you can. Otherwise, that's fine. Bingo, bango. That is a stream, folks. Are you playing Limitless this week? 41%. No, not sure when I play it with 28%. No, playing in Monaco 18%. And then no, 8 played it last week is 14%. Whew, 449 votes. Thanks for pushing through this. I'm sure your brain is going to love turning off all the lights. Yes, I hope it will as I go stare at the smaller screen. But I'm going to get out of here, everybody. 2 minutes to go. I'm going to go set up my TV in a dark room and then go to sleep for a long time. But don't forget that I will be back with the race review episode tomorrow. And yeah, 1 minute to go. You guys absolutely crushed it. You are all amazing. So I'm going to get out of here. All of my teams are locked in, and I hope you are all doing well. So I will get out of here. And Ocon or Gasly, Ocon for me, Matthias. But yes, let's get out of here. Let's enjoy the Japanese Grand Prix, and I will see you tomorrow. So once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.